Good morning, YouTube. I feel extra rough this morning. Different people handle fear differently. And then there becomes this mob mentality. Anxiety and fear is contagious, just like this virus is contagious. So when people panic and others see people panicking, like overbuying and hoarding supplies, then their reaction is this mob mentality to maybe I should be more anxious about this situation. And it's important to strike a balance here. Thankfully, stores are starting to have committed hours for the most vulnerable among us, people with chronic health conditions, cancer, organ transplants, other issues like that, and the elderly. And when you hoard supplies, you make it impossible for a mother to feed her kids, for other people to keep just the bare necessities. There are a lot of vulnerable populations that need things and aren't able to stockpile their entire garage. They don't have that kind of expendable income. So it's important not to panic buy, not to panic and destroy your mental health. Like watching the news, you need to be informed. Everything is changing every day. How locked in, shut in we are. What's closed, what's not, the hours and operation of things. I tried to get hand sanitizer on Amazon. And it said it would be delivered in May or June. And they said they're putting household and immediate need items forefront, and it's not going to be delivered until June. Fortunately, my cat food is going to show up because she's getting quite low, and we can't forget to feed our pets. There's a lot of people who need a lot of things, and people that are hoarding them need to stop hoarding them because everybody's in the same boat and we need to think of each other. But I don't think the people that are hoarding are doing it with the intention of causing difficulty to others. I think it's an immediate fear-based response. It goes back to our animal brain and our mob mentality when we react to other people's reactions, and that is contagious. Same with the news, that you need to be informed, but don't immerse yourself in COVID-19. 24/7 news immersion. That's all you talk about with your friends. That's what your life is consisting of now because we've had to change our daily routines. Just like previously, before this was a thing, what you put in is what you get out. And if you based yourself in abnormalness and negative and stressful news, you're going to be anxious and panicked. Your whole life should not revolve around this, even if technically your whole life is revolving around this right now. You should be doing normal activities in your home with your kids. You should be doing normal activities at home with yourself. You should watch a movie or some TV or read a book that's completely unrelated to COVID-19, as if it's any other day. Oh my goodness. I have lung problems. Fear not. And taking your mental health into consideration right now is important, because when you really do need to think and act critically in constantly changing and important situations, if you are trying to manage your finances, your family, what's going to happen next with your living situation, with everything that's going on right now, you need to have your high brain, your cortex working so you can think critically and act appropriately. And if you bog yourself down in these panic reactions, not only are they practically detrimental to other people, but they're like in not having enough supplies to go around, but they're detrimental to your reaction, your capacity to react appropriately, because you're too stressed, you're too overwhelmed. And when life goes back to normal, as we pray that it will at some point, and you're putting the pieces back together, you won't know what to do. Your life will be consumed. It's like when someone gets sucked into an abusive relationship or any other extreme, immersive, psychologically damaging situation like a cult. When your whole life is that, when your whole world becomes that, when it doesn't have to be that anymore and you're supposed to go back to normal, you kind of can't. You're locked into this anxious response. You want to distance yourself from others and from your previous activities. You're paranoid. You hoard objects. You hoard finances. You do things as if the situation were still occurring, because now you've experienced it and you immersed yourself too far in it and didn't keep any reality and normalcy and average day conduct in your life, that you can't break away. It takes you much longer to break away and return to a normal, enjoyable life. You continue the behaviors as if the crisis were occurring. And as for our economy, that's not going to help our economy and our finances if people are so afraid that they're continuing to avoid things like work, to avoid going out and spending. And we need to get at some point people back to work when this is under control. It can get controlled, hopefully. China got it under control. Some other countries have been doing better than us. It's also important that you stop and think critically and take other people into consideration. Like me, I still have to go to work. This situation has affected everyone I know in a different way. When I said different people are in different boats, everybody's in a different boat. People losing their 401k, people losing their jobs. The unemployment system is it's changing, but it's unable to keep up. But people have to have patience with this. I don't know what else to say. I know my videos have been a lot about COVID. I had other things going on that I wanted to talk about as far as maintaining happiness and a good mood. But when there is a global situation and everyone's life is in upheaval, there is not a single person who is not being affected in some way by this situation. And it seems more appropriate, rather than talk about banal daily tips and tricks to maintaining your happiness, is to address the situation at hand that is affecting everyone's capacity to maintain their happiness, because they're unable to access daily needs. They're unable to find financial means. They're afraid, even though they're in a fine situation. They're afraid for people that they know. They're immersed in news. They have had their daily lives upheaved. They have uncertainty. They don't know what's going on, and they can't detach. So strike a balance. Be informed, not alarmed. Be prepared, not panicked. try to go about a normal day, a normal reality as much as you can within the confines that we are given at this moment. Otherwise, you risk losing your capacity to remain rational. And now we really need people to be acting rationally. We don't know what life hands us. And in small and in large, and this one's in large, and everyone's gotten handed this. So we have to cope with whatever happens. And the better you cope, the better you turn out, and the better it is for everyone else. So try to strike a balance in your reality. There's keeping up with COVID, knowing what to do, protecting yourself and others, behaving appropriately, and knowing the latest information, and dealing with your situation as it turned out because of this. And then there's no life outside of COVID-19. You have to carry on some bit of normalcy, and you have to respond within a appropriate limit. Don't catch other people's fear. It's not something you want to live in forever. Love you guys. Have a good day. Oh, I gotta wake up. Bye. Ramble.